Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me.
A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharp.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to the 1152nd edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Friday, April the 11th of 2025. It is good to have all of you in today. Hang on a second. Oh, man, I thought I had all that. Dude, I thought I had all that taken care of. Pardon me. Sometimes kratom really does not taste good. Sometimes it absolutely does not taste good. I do apologize. There we go. Now we're good. We are streaming live to multiple platforms: Facebook, X, MGTOW.tv, 3 YouTube channels, as well as Rumble. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharp Reality Live a part of your daily routine. I've got a great show. Got a great show in store for you guys. Today. Obviously. What the hell? Hang on, guys. Jesus, boy, we are off to a rough start. Obviously, the story of the week, probably turning out to be the story of the year, to be honest with you, of course, is the murder of Austin Metcalf at the hands of Karmelo Anthony. Austin Metcalf is a white boy. Karmelo Anthony is a black boy. We've got all sorts of things to get into. By the way, shout out to King Life. Who has, of course. Here we go. I always get the sound wrong. Let's try that again. Shout out to King Life. There we go. Shout out to King Life. He has supplied me with a couple of things. So he gave me access to this Charleston White video that we are going to react to. He also got a hold of the affidavit, the police report that sort of details what happened. And again, this is an affidavit. This is all under oath, and I think that will definitely give us a lot more insight as to what was really going on. But first, let me shout out my guys in the chat. Dre Raven is in the house. Luke Perry was the first to break the tape. Good to see you in here. MAR Productions says hi. MAR Productions. I don't think I've ever seen MAR Productions in here before. And normally when I get someone in here for the first time and they just say hi or whatever the case may be, my spidey senses start to tingle a little bit. Listen. Most of the time, I'm about 50-50, right? You guys know me. I've got PTSD. Actually, PTSD, post-traumatic stress trolls. You guys know that I've been trolled into oblivion, so I'm very, very good at spotting them very, very early, even when they don't start trolling. Like, remember the guy from 2 days ago? He came in here and just put an ellipsis in the chat. Nailed it. I knew he was a fucking troll. He never pulled up, etc., etc. Jerry Evans says, smash the like button, gang, absolutely. King Life says, no lie, if YouTube ever lets people use GIFs, the amount of insane GIFs I've been waiting to use back in the DS website days, I used to have a folder of GIFs to unleash. Yeah, I do miss those GIFs. But again, the reason why I don't stream live to Sharp Stream anymore is because I can do that now on Rumble. So, Modern Life Dating is in the house. He says, okay, Donovan, I am ready to race bait today. Yeah, this entire case happens to be, we'll get into all that later. The only race baiting that is happening is by niggas. Niggas want to make this a racial discussion, but this is clearly a culture discussion, as Mr. White will verify a little bit later. Jerry Raven says, I missed the dancing gifts and the spoon heating. Yes, the Dave Chappelle. You know, it's interesting. I actually trimmed up my hair, did my hairline, tightened up the hairline. In the mirror, it actually didn't really look like I did that good a job, but it looks like my hairline is on point as usual. Let's see here. King Life is in the house. AI out here giving Will Smith PTSD. Absolutely. MLD, Modern Life Dating says, wait a minute. It says, I can't believe people are saying this is self-defense. This has to be a psyop. Yeah, niggas are saying that it's self-defense. People who are, people who are like-minded men, objectional, who are purely objectional, believe otherwise. Let's see. Luke Perry says, I didn't finish the Cali West video, but he says he has receipts. Yeah, we're gonna get into the Cali West. Well, we will also get into the Cali West video. And I haven't watched it yet, so I'm gonna watch it for the first time, just like a lot of you guys. And I'll give my take then. Cam Jam is in the house. Good to see you in here. Yeah, King Life says, dudes always say they got receipts and never show it. When I got receipts, I show everything immediately. I don't know what receipts he's talking about. Receipts of what? That Carmelo Anthony is guilty of first-degree murder? Like, what receipts are there? I mean, was there? Did he find a manifesto by Austin Metcalf? Did Austin Metcalf, have some manifesto that said he's going to lure he's going to lure a black kid into the tent only to kick him out? Come on, man. Ain't no receipts. Yeah, Brandon M says receipts he found on Black Twitter. Right. Of course it's receipts. Of course he found the receipts on Black Twitter, right? Ay. I swear to God, black people act like we don't know that black people can use Photoshop too. Dude, I don't give a fuck about Black Twitter. I call it nigga Twitter. I call it nigga Twitter. I call it the nigga tube. I call it nigga whatever. It's just all niggas over there. Yep, there you go. Yep, there of course is the fabled niggadar. There is the niggadar. Listen, it could be radar, could be sonar. Either way, it's clear. Right now it's clear. Wait a minute. I don't have any niggas in the chat yet. No niggas in the chat yet. Skinny to Swell says, it sounds like I'm in the early 2000s again. Absolutely. Janik L'Italian says, even in y'all, all the way from Thailand. Wickless Cage says, you don't live near Dallas. You don't understand the daily threats. I'm not really sure what threats you're talking about, Wickless Cage. What threats are you talking about, Wickless Cage? Alex Custon says, Photoshop for niggas. Yeah, right, exactly. But they don't call it Photoshop. They call it nigga shop. That's what it is. Jonathan D. Cruz says, you think they'll drop it to second degree? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So we are going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that. Now, I'm actually going to ask you guys. Because here's the thing, guys. I am wondering whether I should react to the Charleston White video first, or should we take a look at the arrest report and then react to the Charleston White video, his appearance on Alex Stein, right? Skinny to Swole says, my nigga senses are tingling. Absolutely. Kyle 2020 says, I can't stand cowards. Passive-aggressive cowards piss me off with a passion that could burn the earth like Skynet. Dude, look, if you're going to disagree, and that's what really pissed me off about Cali West, is that if he said, hey, I disagree and here's why. No, he tried to frame it like he was playing devil's advocate. No, he disagreed and then proceeded. Then he proceeded to give the same, playbook, the same playbook answers that niggas are out here calling receipts. So Jonathan D. Cruz says he's already guaranteed no death penalty or life without parole due to his age. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. My guess is that we'll find out. We'll find all this stuff out We'll find all this stuff out when this does come out. So it looks like you guys mostly want to see this police report. Looks like you guys want to see this police report. I think it's probably a little bit more responsible to look at the police report first, and then we can react to everything, because I think the police report. I think that the police report will probably give us, just a little more context in the way of what really happened out there on that fateful day. So. All right, so this is the police report. Give me 2 seconds here. So let me, of course, Walter's in here trying to cause trouble. Here we are. All right, just want to make sure that this is big enough. So this is the Frisco Police Department police report. The location was at the stadium. I guess Eduardo Cortez was the arresting officer. Looks like Allison Ricci was the arresting officer too. This happened on April 2nd. So April 2nd, incidentally enough, is Rollo Tomasi's birthday. So that's Rollo Tomasi's birthday. Okay, so Karmelo Sincere Anthony. Look, small kid, only 130 pounds. It says ethnic. Does that say? I don't know what. Okay, no, that's just me being. This is me being stupid. I have no idea what that ethnic. When I see ethnic, I'm thinking, does N stand for nigga? Oh, no. Maybe. So his employer, this is probably his former employer name. His former employer's is HEB. I guess he was a cashier. Let's see. His bond. Yeah. It looks like he is being held without bond. Brandon M says can barely see him on the mugshot. Yeah, this is probably a copy. Honestly, this is probably a copy of a copy of a copy. You guys know how that goes. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to read through this. This is according to Officer Eduardo Cortez. It says on April 2nd, 2025, at 1001 hours, which is 10:01 in the morning, Staley School Resource Officer E. Eduardo Cortez heard over the radio dispatch call out a stabbing call at David Kuykendall Stadium. And by the way, a lot of people pronounce this Kirkendall. It's not pronounced Kirkendall, it's Kuykendall. And the reason I can say that with authority is because I've only seen this name one other time. He happened to be a classmate of mine when I lived in Hawaii. Everybody called him Kirkendall. He's like, no, it's Kuykendall. Anyway, that's just me being a grammar Nazi. Anyway, Kuykendall Stadium, FPD call notes indicated that an athlete was stabbed. The suspect was reported as being a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants. I immediately left my office and ran across the Staley Middle School parking lot, I guess, which is right next door, towards the southwest entrance of the stadium. As I entered the stadium, 2 high school-age students informed me that the victim was on the north end of the stadium by the bleachers under a Memorial High School tent. I did not identify these students. Next, I proceeded towards the north end of the stadium, visitor side, on foot. As I got closer to the north end, I could see the Memorial High School tent with multiple individuals under the tent. Once I arrived onto the north side bleachers, an adult male who was on the track pointed out the suspect. I was not able to identify that witness. The individual that was pointed out to me was a black male wearing a gray hooded sweater and dark colored Nike pants. The suspect at this point was on the track on the north end. There was a chain link fence that separated me from the suspect. I gave the suspect instructions to keep his hands up in the air. During that time, the suspect said verbally out loud, "I was protecting myself." Oh, that's interesting. Isn't that interesting? Oh, Brandon M says in Texas, that's how we pronounce it. It's Kirkendall. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I stand corrected. Let's see. It continues. It should be noted that I had not questioned him about the incident when he made that comment. See, he didn't question him when he made that comment. He just went into, it was self-defense. I asked him if he had any weapons, and he said no. Well, gee, I wonder what happened to the knife. If you don't have any weapons, what happened to the knife, right? I instructed the male to continue walking along the fence, which he complied, towards an area where there was an opening in the fence that led off the track. While walking him off the track, the suspect also said, quote, he put his hands on me. I then detained the suspect in handcuffs. And guys, again, just because he says he put his hands on me doesn't mean that Austin Metcalf put his hands on me. So it appears to me that right off the bat, Karmelo Anthony knew that he had just committed a crime. And as soon as the police officer arrived on the scene, he already went into defense mode. I was protecting myself. He put hands on me. He put hands on me, so I stabbed this kid to death. As if that is a reason to stab someone to death. I then detained the suspect in handcuffs, handcuffed behind his back, and had him sit on the ground. Officer Andrea, I think, what is that, Andrea Ricci? Allison A. Ricci, my bad. Officer A. Ricci, here we are, had arrived on the scene at that time. I conducted another pat-down of his person and then searched his person after he gave me consent. No weapons were located. While the suspect sat on the ground, I advised that I had the alleged suspect. The suspect then responds and says, I'm not alleged, I did it. Wow. Holy moly. He says, I am not alleged, I did it. He's letting him know, no, there's no allegedly about it. I stabbed this kid. It continues. Next, Officer Ricci and I walked the suspect to patrol the vehicle, number 2412. This is Officer Ricci's patrol vehicle, which was on the northeast gate of Kirkendall Stadium. As we were walking to the squad car, the suspect was emotional and said he put his hands on me. I told him not to. Got a little bit of a typo there. I did not question the suspect about the incident while he was escorted to the patrol vehicle. I searched his person once again, and I had him sit in the back seat area, driver's side, of patrol vehicle 2412. While the suspect was in the back seat, I noticed fresh blood on his left middle finger. I verbally acknowledged that I saw the blood out loud so that it would be captured on my body-worn camera. Good police work there. It should also be noted that the suspect asked me, quote, is he going to be okay while he was in the back seat? AK says it's self-defense. Free that boy.
Nope.
No, that nigga's going to jail. He's going to prison. It's not self-defense, and you know it. You know it. And listen, if you disagree, AK, bruh, I'm right here. Listen, look. If you want to disagree, that's fine. You are, you're well within your right to disagree. Blah 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 blah. But I'm not going to deal with how can I put this? I'm not going to deal with nigga lawyers. Okay. I'm not going to deal with hood lawyers who are just trying to come in here and troll and get reactions. Okay. Yeah. So listen, if you think that was self-defense, pull up, nigga. Like, let's have it out. But of course, we all know, like Karmelo Anthony, most niggas are cowards. All you guys, you people, and that's exactly what I mean, you people, okay? You people love to talk shit in the chats. You love to talk shit in the chat, but when I give you the opportunity to come and get at your boy, yeah, it's crickets. It's crickets. You niggas almost never, ever, ever want to pull up. So it is what it is. It is what it is. This continues. I then identified the suspect. He provided his name and birth date and date of birth verbally as Karmelo Anthony, black male, with the date of birth, blah, 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 which I ran through FD dispatch. Officer Jay Hancock arrived on the scene and remained with me and the suspect at this point. Karmelo was then checked via a school, I guess that's a database system, whatever, to confirm his identity. The identifying information he provided matched the individual I had in custody, Karmelo Anthony. Next, I was advised by Sergeant Holland to transport the subject to the Frisco PD jail. Officer Hancock and I transported him to the FPD jail. Again, I did not question Karmelo about the incident. Upon arriving at the Frisco jail, Karmelo was escorted into the intake area. FPD jail staff changed him out into jail attire. I remained with the jail staff the entire time. He was changed over. The clothes that Karmelo was wearing was placed in an FPD paper evidence bag. The clothes remained in my possession. It continues from this point on. Upon Karmelo being placed into a jail cell, I continued to keep possession of his clothes. I returned to my patrol car, 2412, along with Officer Hancock, which was in the FPD Sally Port, and placed Karmelo's clothes in the back trunk area. I drove patrol vehicle 2412 out of the Sally Port and parked the squad car. Parked the squad car in the FPD patrol parking area. Karmelo's clothes remained in the trunk area of vehicle 2412. FPD. Blah 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 blah. Okay. This is the supplemental stuff. So this is according to Allison Ricci. This is Allison Ricci. Cephas says that Cephas is he says I feel bad for both sides. Yeah, I do too. I feel bad for Karmelo. I feel bad for his parents, and I feel bad for Austin and his family. Jeff A hashtag TBAS says Donovan is just like a lot of these red pill lames. Oh God, give me a break. Yeah, I'm so totally triggered. I'm so totally triggered. Yeah, see, and anytime we get trolls in here, I always knows it's niggas. Guys, this is the problem. This is the problem with our community. This is the problem with our community, man. Is our community is infiltrated with niggas. It really, really was. Daquan Obama, who is probably also Jamal Obama, says Karmelo was defending himself. Okay, well, listen, you can say what you want. This kid's going to fucking prison, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, say what you want. He's going to prison, whether you guys like it or not. Like, this is, I think somebody said it in the chat. This is an open and shut case. Like, he is absolutely 1,000% going to prison. Yeah, let the niggas in. Let the niggas in. Look, man, look. We got the niggadar. We got the niggadar up here. And apparently we've got niggas in the chat. Love it. Very, very. Damien Orozco says, morning, Donovan. Morning, Don. Here in Reno again at the Tesla Gigafactory. Oh, good for you, man. All right, let's keep going here. So this is according to Allison Ricci. On April the 2nd, 2025 at 10:01, was wearing a full Frisco police uniform and I was operating a fully marked Frisco police vehicle 2412. At about that time, I was dispatched to the report of a stabbing at David Kirkendall Stadium. Frisco police dispatch advised that an athlete had been stabbed. The suspect was described as a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. I responded code 3 from the area of El Dorado Parkway in Frisco. I arrived on the scene at approximately, damn, she got there in 4 minutes. When I arrived on the scene, I approached the track and field area and saw Officer Cortez kneeling next to a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. Carmelo Anthony, blah, 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 bloody on his left hands. Okay, all right. So this is according to, so this is the arrest report. This is the arrest report. Goatee and short hair, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it looks like this is, pretty much, let's say this is according to Officer Taylor Wetzel, responded to the stabbing. Okay, all right. Yeah, it looks like this is pretty much just, this is Officer Mike Crawford, Jacob Schultz. So yeah, it looks like this is, oh boy, they redacted. Looks like they redacted all this information. So yeah. What this appears to be really is just a report on the accident in terms of what happened. All of the officers pretty much are saying the same thing. Looks like they're all pretty much saying the same thing. I don't really see anything. I don't see anything in here that's damning on either side. This is just the arrest report. King Life with the $2 super chat says, DS, I sent you a knife. Oh my God. I sent you a site on knife self-defense in Texas. Oh, well, let's see what we got here. All right. So King Life is on the job. Dude, I'm gonna tell you what, man. Oh, damn it. King Life is almost like my remote producer at this point. He really kind of is. All right, let's take a look at this. So, all right. So what King Life just sent me, and shout out to him, man. Dude, King Life always comes up in the clutch. So it says, can you pull a knife on someone in self-defense in Texas? Let's read. The Texas self-defense laws are in place to protect citizens defending themselves and others from imminent harm, but they do not permit the use of deadly force in every situation. If you're someone who carries a knife as a way to protect yourself, you may be wondering, can you pull a knife on someone in self-defense in Texas? Under Texas law, the use of deadly force is only allowed in situations where there is an immediate threat of serious injury or death. Well, there you go. There you go. And it's just like I told a guy that called in the other day, the difference between this and the George Zimmerman situation is that George Zimmerman's life was most definitely in trouble. Trayvon Martin would have, if Trayvon Martin didn't kill George Zimmerman, okay, he probably would have permanently injured him badly in some way. Maybe, he could have gotten brain damage. I mean, there's all sorts of things. So George Zimmerman did what he had to do. If a person reasonably believes, the article continues, that they are in danger of being killed, seriously injured, or sexually assaulted, then they may be permitted to use deadly force to protect themselves, including using a knife. Even so, the use of deadly force must be proportionate to the threat. Guys, this is what I was telling Hotep Jesus as well as Hotep Goldstein the other day. Okay? Here's the only way Karmelo Anthony is not guilty. There are a couple of scenarios where he could not be guilty. Okay? Number one, if we find out that Austin Metcalf pulled a knife on Karmelo Anthony and Karmelo Anthony pulled out his knife in self-defense, then guess what? That's an instant acquittal. That is self-defense. Okay? Austin Metcalf has a knife, so guess what? Him having a knife to defend himself, that is commiserate with the threat. But none of the witnesses, none of the police officers, nobody said anything about Austin Metcalf having a knife. Okay? Nobody mentioned anything about that. Otherwise, Karmelo Anthony would have told the cops that. This kid told the police officer, he said, he put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me, so I stabbed him. Wait, what? You're going to stab somebody that puts their hands on you? Right? Even if that's true, even if Austin Metcalf did put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, like it says here, and the word that I was using was commiserate. Even so, right here, the use of deadly force must be proportionate to the threat. This was my contention. Karmelo Anthony's response was not commiserate to what Austin Metcalf allegedly had done to him. Okay? That's what it was. Okay? He put hands on me, so I stabbed him. Let's continue. To avoid finding yourself in a situation where you're facing criminal charges for defending yourself with a knife, it is important to educate yourself on Texas self-defense laws to know when you are and are not allowed to use your knife in self-defense. Texas Penal Code 9.31 states that if a person is justified in using force against another if they believe that it was necessary to protect themselves or others against the use or attempted use of an unlawful force, the use of force may be viewed as necessary if the actor, number one, knew or had reason to believe that the person against whom the force was used unlawfully and with force entered or was attempting to enter the actor's home, vehicle, or place of business or employment. Number two, unlawfully and with force removed or was attempting to remove the actor from the actor's home, vehicle, or place of business or employment, or was committing or attempting to commit aggravated kidnapping, murder, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, robbery, or aggravated robbery. Number two, did not provoke the person against whom the force was used. And number three, was not otherwise engaged in criminal activity other than minor traffic offenses at the time the force was used. This means that if you reasonably believe that you or those around you are in danger of being killed or seriously injured, then it is lawful for you to use a knife as a weapon to protect yourself. However, it is important to remember that you are only allowed to use force proportional to the threat posed against you, and that these laws also apply to self-defense against multiple attackers. Now, see, here's what the niggas on nigga Twitter will say. Well, he was ganged up on him, right? That's what Cali West tried to do. They told him to leave. No, Cali, it was one person that told him to leave. All of the witnesses corroborated that story. Stand your ground laws. Okay, so I think that pretty much sums it up right there. So you guys can see right here in black and white, Texas Penal Code 9.31. Guess what? This kid did not, the elements, Karmelo Anthony's actions don't meet any of these elements. They don't meet any of the elements. Steve-O, whom I've never seen before, says, Donovan, can you shoot somebody in Texas if they assault you? I don't know. I don't live in Texas, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't know why you're asking me. Fuck out of here. Let's see. All right, let's tell off some niggas here. Let's see what we got on the niggadar. Let's see what we got on the niggadar today. King Life says this case might get very murky, and I will explain to you exactly how this will get very murky because I have a third scenario in which Karmelo Anthony absolutely could get off and get away with murder. Clotus McEwen says we need to take emotion out of it and just look at the facts. Yeah. I mean, again, this is racial idolatry. Black people can do no wrong. Blah 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 blah. THNZXE says, just watch Donovan. This case will be an episode of Law & Order SVU next season. Yeah, they like to call those ripped from the headlines. Clotus also says, I've had so many of my friends crash out being emotional. That's what this is, man. That's what this is. Dewey says, a 6'1", 225-pound guy is a threat to a 5'9", 130-pound guy. So now we're using somebody's size as well. He was bigger than me. That's why I stabbed him. That's a bad take, D-Weez. That's a bad take. D-Weez. Edward Cross says equal force. I've used this word the entire week. Commiserate. His response was not commiserate. Clotus says I'm 6 foot 280. I'm sure I've threatened a lot of people. Does that mean people can shoot me because I threaten them? Exactly. Come on, man. Brandon M says, I am 6'5", 255. I've been threatened by more 130-pound dudes than dudes my own size. Exactly. See, you see how niggas are in here trying to murky things up? They're trying to just like King Life said. They're trying to muddy the waters. They're trying to muddy the waters. Let's see here. Yep, there it is. Cephas says, bingo, is racial idolatry is a problem. Yes, that's what this is. That's what this is. And this is what Hotep Goldstein was guilty of, was racial idolatry. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to, and again, shout out to King Life. We are now going to react to Charleston. So Charleston White was on primetime with Alex Stein. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. And this dude dropped straight hot fire. He dropped hot fire. He kept it all the way real. We are going to react to that right now. So buckle up, guys. Away we go. And again, let me put the fair use stuff up here. There we go. And oh, by the way, if anybody wants to pull up, I don't have anybody in there now, but if anybody wants to pull up, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you disagree, hashtag pull up. There we go. I'm going to pin that. There it is. So that is pinned in the chat. That is now pinned in the chat. You guys can see. What exactly is going. You guys can see it. So listen, man. Look. I ain't mad at y'all. If you disagree, then pull up and we'll talk about it. It's all good. Yeah, Clotus says he was doing what emotional men do. Trey Ball says they never pull up. Yeah, there we go. Steve-O says size does matter, y'all. 6 feet plus dudes don't understand. It's not a matter of being scared because you're bigger. I'm just evening my playing field. Look at David and Goliath. Let me ask you something, Steve-O. Since you seem to be opinionated about this. Do you think that Karmelo Anthony was justified in stabbing Austin Metcalf in the heart? And this is a yes or no question. This is a yes or no question. Yeah, look at this. Y'all tall motherfuckers got way more reach. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking? So, Steve, you don't know what you're talking about. I thought this was going to be an intelligent disagreement, but now we're talking about guy size. Fuck out of here, man. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Let me put this up here because you guys know, I got to stay away from. There it is. Let's lighten that up a little bit. 195 of you in here watching. I appreciate every one of you. Even the ain't shit niggas who are in here trying to troll me and get under your boy's skin. Appreciate that. Laura Sylvester says self-defense case closed. You're going to be very disappointed, Laura. You're going to be very disappointed, Laura. This nigga's going to jail. I mean, listen, look. I think what you niggas need to really, really understand, you guys need to get this through your thick skull, man. You guys need to get this through your thick skull. This nigga's going to jail. This kid is absolutely going to jail. And no amount of self-defense claims you put in some, obscure, obsolete, dead YouTube channel is not going to change that. This kid is absolutely going to jail. He's going to jail. So, look, you guys can argue with me until you're blue in the face. Guess what, man? He's going to jail. The kid is guilty. Everybody knows it's guilty. And if it were open and shut, then there would be a bond. But there's not. There you go. All right, let's get it.
Austin Metcalf. You see the boy in Frisco stabbed to death by Karmelo Anthony?
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. They trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue.
Okay. So
they're trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue. I've talked about this many, many times before. We as human beings, we are born with an inherent understanding of the difference between right and wrong. I think there's a concept called original sin, right? Nobody has to teach us how to lie, cheat, or steal. No. We know how to sin coming out the womb. We know the difference between right or wrong.
So no, real quick, I like where you're going on this because I'm not even trying to race bait or anything. People are making this about black and white. You see that they're trying to make this kind of like a Trayvon Martin kind of, they're talking about it. But where do you?
It is. Trayvon Martin was an angry black kid that had to be sent to his father because he lacked discipline. Grew up in a home with his single mother.
Oh shit. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, he didn't. Gentlemen. What Charleston White just said there is 1,000% accurate, man. Okay? Gentlemen, there is a reason why the so-called black community is a dumpster fire. Okay? And the reason for that is because it is a matriarchy. A matriarchy is something that is run by women. I've had this discussion with my brother many, many times. Most black people are raised by black women. And as we all know, women do not exercise emotional control. Now, women can get away with being emotional and lashing out because they can't do nearly as much damage as we do, okay? Emotional women can do some harm, okay? Maybe. Emotional men kill people. Emotional men maim people. Emotional men mass murder people, okay? That's what emotional men do, all right? And listen, if you don't believe me, look at our prison system. 85% of black men in prison came from where class? Single mother homes. So these single mothers are raising these boys. Again, women react emotionally and they pass it down to their sons. Guys, I was that kid. Okay? I was that kid. I had a very weak father growing up. He didn't teach me anything about emotional control. My mother was my example. Anytime anything went wrong, she'd fly off the handle. No, I'm not blaming my mistakes on her. Okay, I'm a grown man, and like I said before, original sin. I know the difference between right and wrong. I absolutely do. But it would be disingenuous of me not to, at the very least, acknowledge the fact that being raised mainly by a single mother played some role in my fucked up decision making when I get emotional and violent. Okay? Like I said before, emotional men are dangerous men. Emotional control, gentlemen, this is something that black men are not being taught. Black men are not being taught emotional control. And this is why you end up with Trayvon Martins and Karmelo Anthonys. But let me ask you guys another question. Because even Zur says Karmelo is going to jail, no way around it. I would believe that. But here's a question. Speaking of Minneapolis, George Floyd, that kind of thing. How will the black community respond when Karmelo Anthony is convicted? How do you think the black community is going to respond when Karmelo Anthony is convicted? Think about it. Think about it. Dude, the entire so-called black community celebrated OJ's acquittal. Myself included. I was young, dumb, full of cum. I was stupid. I celebrated OJ's acquittal. Okay? Not long before that, they rioted. They destroyed the city after the Rodney King cop acquittal. Right? So when shit doesn't go right, as far as cops and court is concerned, okay, black people, they like to destroy shit. They like to destroy shit. They destroyed Minneapolis because of George Floyd. But here's the thing. And you won't find this on black Twitter, okay? They destroyed Minneapolis because of George Floyd and not having the whole story. All we saw of George Floyd in that situation were the last 8 or 9 minutes of his life, okay? The last 8 or 9 minutes of his life. We didn't see the part where he actually fought the cops and resisted. Guys, I have the Hard R podcast almost every day here. How many times do we see niggas fighting the cops? You're telling me that all of a sudden St. George Floyd exercised emotional control? No, we didn't see him fighting off the cops or when he resisted, right? We didn't see him trying to pass off counterfeit money at that convenience store. We didn't see the part where he OD'd on fentanyl. We also conveniently forget that this was not George Floyd's first run-in with the cops. You see, a little more than a year before that whole Minneapolis thing happened, they'd had trouble with him before. Resisting, fighting cops, he was high. As a matter of fact, check this out. And I forget when it was, but it was probably within a year of the whole, Minneapolis thing with George Floyd. George Floyd had overdosed on drugs, okay? He fought the cops, blah, 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 blah. They took him to a hospital and saved his life. Guess what? They couldn't save his life that time. But no, we want to act like George Floyd was this law-abiding, upstanding citizen who ran into the wrong cops. No, George Floyd was a criminal. That's all there was to it. We're trying to paint this kid Karmelo Anthony, and let me pull up another picture. This is what really, really cracks me up about this. This is funny as hell. Do you see these pictures? Do you see this picture here, guys? This is the picture floating around on nigga Twitter. This is the picture that's floating around on nigga Twitter. You guys see this? You guys see this picture? Look at that picture. We've got the white supremacists. Who hate niggers. And then we have upstanding, law-abiding citizen, Karmelo Anthony. He looks like a Division I. It looks like the photo of a Division I college football profile. Isn't it funny how they try to frame this? Number one. Number two, what makes us think that Karmelo Anthony has ever worn a suit in his life? Huh? Yeah, this was off Tariq Nasheed. Absolutely. This was Tariq Nasheed. But getting back to what I was saying a little bit earlier, and hang on, I think somebody may have pulled up. Hang on a second. I could have swore somebody, all right, never mind. I could have swore I heard it. But anyway. We do it live, guys. There it is. There we go. Pardon me. But like I was saying, just getting back to what I was saying, so knowing what we know about the so-called black community and their reactions to perceived injustices dealing with the cops or court, are black people going to destroy Frisco, Texas too? Huh? Are black people gonna, like, seriously? Because you know that, listen, this is what niggas do. When niggas don't get their way, they get emotional and they destroy shit. Because what? Emotional men are dangerous men. And I've got the criminal fucking record to prove it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm this bastion of reasonable. No, man. I was right there too with this kid. Yeah. Dr. B84 says, nigga looks like he's going to run for office. Right. You look at this picture. Honestly, you would think that this kid was a doctor, but guess what? They couldn't hide all of the nigga in him, could they? You see this right here, y'all? You see this? Look at this. See, couldn't hide all that. Couldn't hide all that. Couldn't hide the nigga in him. Goody. Couldn't hide that nigga. No, you couldn't. No, there it is. There it is. So yeah, they put him in a suit he's never worn in his life, but yeah, they forgot to Photoshop this part out. They forgot to Photoshop that part out. See, that's what gives him away. That's what gives him away as the typical emotional nigga. Yeah, right. All right, let's continue. Let's continue with the breakdown here. I do apologize. Give me a second. There we go. All right. Let's continue. I thought there was somebody up there.
Any well-behaved kid with manners that had respect of adults.
Yeah, King Life says DS Donovan has seen what AI can do. Yeah, dude, you want to know how good AI is? There are people on the internet. There are people on the internet who actually believe. Oh, now that was definitely somebody. There are people on the internet who absolutely believe that Devin has a kid. Devin has a kid. Dude, there's court documents and everything to back that up. But what people don't realize is that Devin's ex-husband, who is an absolute bum, by the way, he's literally a magician with Photoshop. He can make anything look real. Not only was he good at Photoshop, he was good at web development. See, this is why, Devin and her husband were sort of a power couple. And listen, you guys know I talk about Devin's, her abilities on the internet. Her ex-husband was almost as good as she was. So again, this is what it comes down to. We're trying to make this kid look like he's some, college scholar. Fuck out of here. Give me a break with that. Let's continue.
Once George Zimmerman approached him, whether he's right or wrong, as a child, this is an adult. You get off the phone with that fat-ass girlfriend you trying to fuck. You call your dad and say, hey, Dad, it's an adult around here to just stop me. He says he's calling the police. Rather than doing that, he had an attitude because...
Laura Sylvester says, Donovan, you're a nigga too. First of all, Laura, I don't know what a nigga is. Second of all, if you're trying to call me a nigga, you might want to ask. You might want to ask the black community what they think of your boy Donovan Sharp. Right? You might want to ask your boy You might want to ask them what they think of your boy Donovan Sharp. Dude, the black community doesn't claim me. They don't claim me. So yeah, nice try.
As young black males in this country, we have an authority problem because we're walking around angry, displaced from our father's issues, but we resent our mothers.
Let's go.
That's true.
So we're a ticking time bomb. And Trayvon Martin could fight. So that's why I say you be careful approaching some of these young kids. What a 13-year-old would kick a 40-year-old's ass.
That's true.
And that's what happened in that situation. He underestimated this kid, and he was looking for trouble, but by law, he was right. And he was judged by his peers. So we can't say nothing once you're judged by your peers.
There you go. We can't say nothing once you are judged by your peers. Now, there are still people who believe that George Zimmerman should have gotten jail time or whatever. Nope, George Zimmerman acted in self-defense. He was getting the brakes beat off of him.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing? You think he's
Young Hero says Tariq would call Don a tether. I have no idea what a tether is. I really don't.
Calf ass go, well, no, that boy going
Carmelo
to jail.
Anthony's going to go to jail.
He's going to jail. Yes, he is.
Listen.
Yes, he is.
You cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
Bingo. There you go. Why are you bringing a weapon to school, gentlemen? Why would you bring a weapon to school? So he's already broken one law.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because if you are afraid the day before, you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teacher know. So when y'all...
Black Samurai says, Karmelo will be free in a few weeks. Wait, hold on. Are you telling us this? Or is this wishful thinking? Black Samurai, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance to come up because you've been a long time supporter of mine. You've been a long time supporter of mine, and you really, really have dug in on this. So I am no longer going to allow you to disagree in the chat. Okay? If you're going to listen, I'll allow you to disagree in the chat. I'll allow you to disagree in the chat, Black Samurai, if you pull up. Okay? If you pull up. If you don't pull up within the next minute and a half, Black Samurai, you are fucking gone. You are fucking gone. Pull the fuck up. Because you've been in here, you've been in my chat talking shit all week long. And I've been lenient with you because I don't give a fuck where you are. I don't give a shit, Black Samurai. Dude, if you're at your office right now, fucking go outside and get on your goddamn phone. That's not my problem. That is not my problem, bruh. And now you've got 54 seconds. Now you've got 54 seconds to pull up. Now he says he's in the office. Listen. I have no problem with anybody who disagrees, but you're not going to do it in the chat. You're going to do it. We're going to do it face to face. There you go.
Y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So where's the documentation to say this is self-defense?
Bingo. Yeah, the only documentation that says it was self-defense was Karmelo Anthony claiming that Austin Metcalf put hands on him. Laura Sylvester says, that boy is a hero. Yin, yin, yin on that white boy chest. Okay. Yin, yin, yin on that. I have no idea what that means. MLD says, Laura, are you white? Let me explain something to you, MLD. Roughly 178% of my haters are niggas. They are. Anybody who comes in here and says that that Karmelo Anthony is a hero for stabbing some kid, you know they're low IQ. You know they're low IQ. They're just, they're saying that to try. No, dude, whatever. They're just looking for attention. There you go. Come on. Yeah, he's a hero. Yeah. But yeah, Charleston White just made a very, 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 very good point. He said documentation beats conversation. Documentation beats conversation. If this wasn't premeditated, then why are you sitting in the opposing team's tent? Right? People like to say, well, he was bullied. Okay. Why would you go into the tent of your bully? If you were afraid, I think somebody said this in the chat, if you were so afraid for yourself, why did you go into that tent? I know why he went into that tent. He was looking for trouble. That's why. He was looking for trouble. That's why. Guys, you guys know I talk about my criminal history all the time. The last thing I was arrested for, the last felony I was arrested for, aggravated assault with these hands. Guys, aggravated assault with these hands. Okay? That situation was 100% my fault. I could have easily put the pizza in. I could have easily put, I can hear somebody's pulling up. Hang on, PLG, I'll get to you in a minute. I could have just gotten into the car with my pizza and put it in the passenger seat. But no, I wanted to go through the passenger door. Why did I want to go through the passenger door? Was because there was somebody standing there and I was looking for trouble. I was looking for a reason to get pissed off and beat the shit out of somebody. And if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it. Karmelo Anthony was never afraid of this guy. Okay, we have people in here talking about, he was 6'3" and 250 pounds and he was an athlete. Evidently, Karmelo wasn't that intimidated because he willfully and wantonly went and sat in the opposing team's tent, knowing who was in there. That doesn't sound like the actions of someone who was afraid or bullied. You guys understand that, right? All right. There we are. Okay. Oh. All right. Looks like we've got us a bit of a three-way going on here. Phoenix Lake Games. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, Donovan. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Let's try to make this short because I got Black Samurai on the line and I want to hear what he has to say.
Okay. I was going to be 3 minutes anyway. Today I know I said I was planning to jump on stream with you today. I can't today because
I got your text.
A lot of people called out, and also there was a plane crash where I worked.
Oh wow, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah, in the area, not like directly like where I worked, but it's in the neighboring area. So there's a lot of chaos going on, a lot of traffic and stuff,
I
and
get
a
it.
lot of police and like that. It's in the Boca area where I work, around the Glades area. So it's
Okay.
a lot of chaos. So I'm probably not going to get back home until like 10 tonight.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine. So what's on your mind? Because I want to get to Black Samurai here. I want to hear what this dude has
Sure.
to say.
Sure. Yeah. All everything that's happening, all these niggas that are coming in and commenting on this. I just have to say this, and this is something that has really been bothering me for a while. I think here's the thing. I totally agree with you that niggas are the most racist people in the United States. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Straight up.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Their racism is so volatile. I think that they just look for any excuse, however minuscule it is, to attack a white person. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Like literally, they hate white people so much that however minuscule the reason is, that like say, oh God, he touched me or anything like that. Oh, he looked at me a certain way, or he's laughing at me a certain way.
Crazy.
And
Right. Stupid.
They just use that as an excuse to react violently towards.
There you go. That's exactly right. He disrespected me, or he violated some principle, or whatever. It's nigga culture, and this is the thing. I don't know Carmelo Anthony, but from all accounts, he seemed like I'm not going to say he was a good kid or a bad kid, but he didn't really seem like a troublemaker. He got caught up in the culture, and I'll pull those receipts as well.
Yeah, he got caught up in the culture. It was obviously the culture. Like, here's the thing, like, a nigga is like created in response to the environment, what he or she consumes and everything like that.
Right.
It's not just a family situation. Like here's the thing, like people like, I think you said this a while ago. Nigga is not a skin color; it's a behavior.
Yes, absolutely. And this is what Hotep Goldstein was talking about the other day. He's like, well, there's nigga culture in the trailer park. No, there's not. The only nigga culture in trailer parks are where niggas are. Yes, look, the thing is this, and even if this had happened in the trailer park, those say what you want about white trash and this and that and a third, they don't condone this type of behavior, okay? If Bobby Joe had stabbed someone, Laquan Travius, do you think rednecks would be flying their Confederate flags? Yeah, we got one of theirs. No, they'd be like, hey, strap that kid to the electric chair and throw the switch. We are the only, and I explained this I forgot who I explained this. Oh, it was to Cali West. We're the only group of people in the world, this is American black people, who condone criminal activity. It's insane.
Yeah, we don't like. Well, I don't want to say we, because I don't include myself in nigga culture at all.
Hell no.
But for the sake of argument, I say we. We don't hold us as a community accountable for doing deplorable shit. And here's the thing, like, black people they fear prosperity, and yet they embrace degeneracy as if it's something to be proud of.
Yeah,
like
man.
Everything they do, everything that we've watched, everything that you talk about, everything that we've witnessed, it's like there's nothing but degeneracy. And here's the thing, I noticed that somebody referred to you as a tether. Here's the thing.
Yeah, what is a
Myron
tether?
Gets called that all the time. A tether is basically a black person, whether it's a black man or a woman who doesn't subscribe to nigger culture and distance themselves away from it. Basically, tether is a black man or woman who holds black niggas accountable for their deplorable behavior or anything like that.
Well,
you know how it is. Like,
yeah, I guess I'm a tether.
Myron says, like, he's not one of us. He's just an Arab, dude. If anything, Myron is the cold hard definition of black. His family hails from Sudan.
He is literally the definition of African American.
Exactly. Like, the dude is literally Sudanese. Like, how much black can you get?
How much blacker can you get? The dude is his parents literally came from the Sudan.
Yeah. But apparently, Myron's not black. Fresh is not black. Donovan Sharp's not black. Andrew Tate's not black.
I don't care. Fortunately for me, I really don't give a damn what niggas think. Like, I stopped giving a damn what niggas think a long time ago. So,
Oh yeah, and one more thing. Before I go, don't worry, it's
Yep.
gonna take a quick second.
Okay.
I remember 2 days ago you were having this revelation about how black women, dark skinned black women perceive light skinned black women.
Yeah,
Yes, they
it's
do.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm here to co-sign whoever made that claim in the chat 2 days ago. But yes, it's true. It's true. But like dark skinned women, here's the thing: light skinned black skinned women tend to be more. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it is, but they tend to be more feminine. They tend to
Okay.
be more docile. They tend to be a lot more in shape and a lot more attractive. And dark-skinned black women, most of the time, don't measure up to what light-skinned black women do. And here's the thing: they're a lot more accomplished in terms of getting men that they want and everything like that. So yeah, dark-skinned black women tend to be jealous of them and hate them and everything like that. But yes,
Damn,
it's
I
co-sign
guess
it.
I'm
Yeah,
not as up.
dark-skinned black women in general tend to hate light-skinned black women. Yes.
Wow. All right. Well, I swear to God, just when you think you've heard it all about niggas, man, you hear something else. PLG, I think appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna get to Black Samurai, and I guess we can react to that a little bit later on.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good day, man.
Appreciate that. Before I bring on Black Samurai, Brandon M with the $5. Actually, there was another super chat I missed. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Phoenix he says, I pulled up, but I don't know if it's working. Yeah, it is. It's definitely working. Maybe I haven't closed the window in a while, so I don't really. Brandon M with the $5 super chat says, what would happen if someone on the Flyers went and sat on the bench of the Rangers during a game? You're going to get confronted, if not thrown out. Exactly. Why? Again, dude, I believe Karmelo Anthony was looking for trouble. I believe he was absolutely looking for trouble. Why else would he bring a knife? Think about it. Why else would he bring a knife to school and then purposefully go and sit in the opposing team's tent? All right, so let me bring on. All right, so Black Samurai doesn't have his camera on. That's perfectly fine. All right, Black Samurai. So why do you? So what are your? Oops, I didn't want to go bingo. So what are your thoughts on this whole Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony situation here?
Well, thanks for having me on, Donovan.
Yep.
And once again, I'm not coming from, I'm coming from a base where there's evidence where I was speaking from, but
Okay.
I don't want to, to me, I've been a fan for a while. You've been there when the Kevin Samuels situation happened, so I'm always be a writer for you. But in this case, I'm hearing things from, I got people who's in Texas, and they're saying by the letter of the law with Texas stand your ground laws, this is a clear case because there's been other cases of stand your ground laws that he might technically be free. That I'm just hearing things. I'm not saying that as a definite truth or whatnot. I'm just saying that that's what people are saying. And number two, there's evidence that people have video evidence, but they're not trying to let that out yet. I guess they're doing investigations, but that, sort of like supports Carmelo's side, but I'm not trying to get in the back and forth. That's just what people I'm hearing. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. What do you think? What's your opinion? Do you think Carmelo Anthony was right to stab Austin Metcalf and kill him?
No, I don't agree with that. I grew up in rough neighborhoods. I went to rough schools. I had to fight. I was on the football team, so I fought my fair fights.
Sure.
What it should have been just a fair fight. He might have been scared or something like that. And, I understand some people are not fighters. So he probably might have just got scared in that situation and did what he did.
Okay, so that makes sense. He might have got scared in that situation, but that doesn't explain why he brought a knife to school. So here's the thing, Black Samurai. This kid brought a knife to school, okay? He purposefully went and sat in the opposing team's tent, okay? He is looking for trouble at that point. He is going to have to take some accountability here. He put himself in that situation. It's almost like if someone, like if I were to take one of my cars and I were to drive it into the hood, right? Reno has one hood. It's out there by Peppermill. And I were to leave the door and I roll down all the windows, left the keys in the car. That doesn't mean that the person that jacks my car is still not guilty. No, he is guilty of grand theft auto, but I have to take some accountability because I went into a neighborhood where that kind of stuff is known to happen. How do you explain him bringing a knife to school and then going and sitting in the opposing team's tent, because if he were that afraid, if he were that intimidated, he would not have been there in the first place.
Right. The evidence that I have gotten is, to me,
I don't buy none of this. No. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Black Samurai. We're not going to talk about things that nobody knows about. Okay, because what appears to be happening is people are all of a sudden coming up. Well, I know things that you don't know. No. You don't know that there is a video, and I'm sure you've got people and this and that and a third. All of this is going to come out eventually. But if we're going to have a good faith discussion about this, then we need to talk about the things that we do know. You don't know that there is a video. You don't know that. You don't know that there is additional evidence. There is a reason why there is no bond for Karmelo Anthony.
Right. They're holding him for a reason, but to me, he shouldn't have brought a weapon onto a school grounds. That's clearly, a violation. He should take accountability for that. But to me, it's like they said it was raining and he wanted to get out the rain. That's why he was there and he got confronted.
So now it was raining. So when the video is there, so if it were raining, why are we having a track meet in the rain? Do you see where we're going with this, Black Samurai? All of these are excuses. All of these are excuses. And then of course, Karmelo had the ready-made excuse. I stabbed him because he put hands on me. What are you doing in that tent with a weapon in the first place?
Right. There's some the people that if you want to ask me, I think he should have just fought it out. He shouldn't have brought a weapon into the situation. But
yes, and I agree with you. I agree with you. But that was not his intent. His intent was to get into a confrontation to give himself an excuse to use the knife. Because if he really did want it to be a fair fight, he would not have had a weapon.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like you said, the culture, and I do agree with you, Donovan. The culture is the problem because I think he wanted to prove a point. Or something like that. Did act like he was
like
getting
tough. Street cred.
To get into a confrontation or whatever like that. To me, I would have backed up. Like, hey, if you don't want me to sit here, I'll go sit somewhere else. I ain't trying to get in no trouble. But I think you said the culture might have been something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this before I let you go here. How do you see this thing? How do you see this thing playing out?
To me, it might. To me, it's like he might, in the end, serve a little jail time. But the letter of the law supports the grounds that he took. So it to me is like I think he might serve a little jail time with some probation in the end. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, well, just understand that the specific law, and let me pull this up here. The specific law, as far as the whole stand your ground thing, give me a second because I'm going to pull it up right here. So, according to the Texas self-defense law, it says, even so, the use of deadly force must be proportionate to the threat. Okay, the only way Karmelo Anthony could argue that this truly was self-defense is if he can produce evidence where somebody said, you know what, Austin Metcalf pulled out a knife or Austin Metcalf pulled out a gun, whatever the case may be. Karmelo Anthony's response, like I said yesterday, was not commiserate with what Austin Metcalf allegedly did. If somebody yells at you, that doesn't mean you stab him. If somebody grabs your bag, that doesn't mean you stab him, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and again, I believe, just based on what we've heard and seen on the police report, I believe that Karmelo Anthony was looking for trouble. I believe that he was looking for trouble, and if that was the case, then well, it doesn't really matter whether it was the case or not. But I believe he's gonna be convicted. There is a world, and I'll get into this a little bit later, Black Samurai. There is a world where I can see Karmelo Anthony being acquitted, but it's gonna take a series of unfortunate events.
It's a lot of groups. There's a lot of social groups and political groups getting into this, and it's being politicized. That's the dangerous thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. And that could sway the judge and sway the, either way. So we don't know until they go to trial and all the evidence are chipping out. But I was just saying, but what the people were saying on, in Texas that we're looking into it and live in Frisco, live in the area, the Fort Worth, Dallas area. I was just like, because I got cousins that stay down there, and I was just like, well, what's going on? So that's what I was just hearing, and I don't know if it's true or not. That's what That's the information I got.
I would, and I'm not trying to give you like advice here because God knows I'm not a legal expert by any stretch of the imagination. But sometimes you really do have to consider the source of these new revelations, right? People who want Carmelo Anthony to be found not guilty are saying, yeah, well, Austin Metcalf attacked him. Austin Metcalf had a knife. Austin Metcalf bullied him. It was 3-on-1. It was 5-on-1. They were all bigger than he was. I think they're purposefully trying to muddy the waters for exactly the same reason that there are people trying to politicize this. They want to taint the jury pool in some way, shape, or form to get the verdict that they want. I'll give you the last word.
Well, I agree with you, Donovan, in that words. That's why it's dangerous to like I say, get outside opinion or other people's opinion, and instead of looking at the facts. And I would agree, like say for instance, if he do a little bit of jail time and probation, he will have to take accountability of what he did.
Sure.
Instead of saying, hey, oh, I was attacked. You should have known what you were doing in that situation. You should have been aware and smart enough as a black man in these situations. Even though he come from a middle class family, I grew up, in worse situations. So
sure. Yeah.
he should have been knowledgeable of that. So, and I think if he was, he wouldn't even been there and probably also wouldn't be dead right now. So,
okay, fair enough. All right. Well,
but thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
and let
of
me,
course. You represented
opinion,
yourself well. And yeah, listen, if you want to disagree in the chat, I'm good to go with that. And thanks for your support over the years, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Very good. All right. Let me bring up. This is my man, Jamie. Jamie, what is going on, my brother? Hold up. Let me get you up in here for whatever reason. There we go. Got you. Jamie, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, Mr. Sharp?
I'm doing good. Hold on. Before we do anything, I need you to give me your email address again because, hold on. Because as soon as you gave it to me, I erased it on a website. So give me your email again.
So my email is jamiestar020@gmail.com.
So that is JAMIESTAR020@gmail.com.
That is correct.
Okay, got it. And I'm not erasing it this time. Okay, so what's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I just had to call into your show or hit the link. You know what I mean? To add my 2 cents in.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Because this has been a hot topic for like the last couple of weeks, and to get my perspective on this subject, on this idiot, this moron, this savage.
Yep.
He deserves exactly what he has coming to him.
That's right.